Welcome to Chicago Tribune's Bear Download here on the last day of training camp. I'm Rich Campbell. This is Dan Wiederer. And Dan, been here since late July. We've seen the Bears really try to ramp up the changes on defense, maintain this continuity on offense. And I think as we head back to Chicago, look toward to the last 3 preseason games, you're seeing these reasons for optimism and also reasons that these questions persist. What do you make of this training camp as they head home?
Well, the biggest reason for optimism is we survived Bourbonnais for 3 weeks, which is a big deal. But I think if you're going to go by the idea that the success starts with the quarterback, your biggest reason for encouragement is the idea that Jay Cutler has had a very good camp. Mark Trestman talked about it today, that he's felt like Jay Cutler made strides in the offense, understanding what they want in him and feeling comfortable. And you've heard it in Jay Cutler's voice over these 3 weeks, that he feels good about where they're headed, about the way they used the spring to refine the playbook, put in the concepts and the plays that they like, and now they just locked and loaded it and are taking the steps forward with it. We won't get a really long look at that first team offense till the Seattle game in week 3 of the preseason, but they're making strides forward there, and Jay Cutler feels comfortable. So that's step number 1 towards getting your team on the right track.
Right, but if you look offensively, reasons for questions, you look first at the offensive line and the injuries they have there. Starting right tackle Jordan Mills continues to battle that left foot problem, and then some of the depth that they've worked to build is injured. I mean, you've got Evan Britton with the hamstring, Brian De La Puente out a couple weeks with a knee injury, and so that offensive line needs to continue to come together, especially as they work Kyle Long back in.
And they need to get healthy. And as you mentioned, Kyle Long started camp. He wasn't available at the start of camp. Jordan Mills wasn't available at the end of the camp. De La Puente, Evan Britton not available at the end of camp. They've got to get healthy. Now, Jermon Bushrod said that this training staff and this coaching staff understands you can't make the playoffs in August. And so you have to be cautious at this time of year, and you have to hope that these guys can work through these injuries and understand that their availability in September, October, November is the ultimate goal. But still, it's worth keeping an eye on. You don't want your starting right tackle leaving training camp wearing a walking boot, no matter how precautionary or how non-serious the team says it is.
Yeah, and on the defensive side, I mean, I think we could go on for days about the questions on this defense still. We haven't seen enough in terms of tackling, preseason game action, especially at linebacker and safety. Those competitions are going to continue to settle out as we get through the rest of the exhibition schedule.
There's no question. They came into this camp trying to show off a refurbished defensive line. That was shown. Jared Allen, Lamar Houston, Willie Young, these guys are active up front. Jeremiah Ratliff, Stephen Pyle looks better. So that defensive push up front is a big deal, but now who are the difference makers at linebacker? Who are your starting safeties? A lot more to answer as we get closer to that September 7th opener, and you can't put those questions under the radar because they need to be answered, and they need to be answered definitively.
Not to mention special teams disaster in week 1 of the exhibition season. They have a lot to sort out there at punter and long snapper, returner. Coverage teams, returner. So many questions still as we leave Bourbonnais, but it'll be fun to get to it, and we're at least a step closer to the regular season. All right, that will do it for Bear Download Training Camp Edition.
Nice.
We made it through.
We survived.
Yeah, first one. All right. For Dan Wiederer, I'm Rich Campbell. Stay tuned to ChicagoTribune.com all week as we head up to the Bears exhibition on Thursday night against the Jaguars, and we'll see you next time.